Josh Allen's getting the start this week, Carson, and you obviously are somebody who sat and watched for an entire year, and he's gotten to sit and watch for an entire half. What is your stance on how your career played out and whether it would have played out the way it did had you been thrown right in Cincinnati?
Well, it's almost impossible to think back and have and know. I had an unbelievable opportunity to sit behind John Kitna and watch and learn and see him be the quarterback and the leader and see when he spoke up and said things in front of the team. And I learned how to study and I learned how to take care of myself, but I also learned what it takes to be a leader at the NFL level. So it was phenomenal for me. Of course, every guy wants to play and wants the opportunity. But it was a great opportunity for me. I was hoping for Josh in Buffalo, he'd have a chance to sit back and watch for a little bit. He hasn't played a ton of football going from high school to junior college to Wyoming and now all of a sudden in the NFL at a whole different talent level. I'm excited to watch him play. I think the sky's the limit for him. I just hope everybody's as patient as they need to be with him because you saw him last week. It's not a great team yet. If they continue to build that team and he continues to get his time and they're patient and putting the right pieces around him, you have a fixture in your organization for years because he's going to be a great talent.
Well, there's a number one overall pick, fresh off of winning an Heisman Trophy, who's sitting in Cleveland right now, sitting in the state of Ohio. I mean, it's pretty much the same situation as you without instead it's Browns instead of the Bengals. What do you think Baker Mayfield is learning right now watching?
Well, I know firsthand. I mean, he's sitting with Tyrod Taylor, who's an unbelievable guy and as pro as a pro you could find. And then Drew Stanton, who had a chance to play for Arizona, who I also know is a great preparer. He understands how to break down film. He's helping Baker along, I'm sure, with that. But for Baker to sit back and watch those two vets who've both been in the league for a long time, watching them study, watching them prepare, and just waiting for his opportunity and hoping to capitalize on that opportunity. He's in a great situation with some great vets around him. Same thing with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's got Josh McCown, who it doesn't get any better than having Josh McCown to bounce ideas off of and ask questions on a Wednesday and then ask questions again on Sunday in the third quarter, and he'll always give you the right answer and a straight shot. Those two guys are in great spots. I don't know Josh Allen's situation per se. I just hope that he's got the right people around him and that'll help him nurture and nurture him into being a great player in this league.
Well, it's the whole thing. Obviously we can't know because we're not in the meeting rooms. We're not there, Carson Palmer. I get it. But, I mean, at least Sam Darnold, though, is getting the lumps out. Pick 6 on his first play, but he bounced back on Monday Night Football. And he still has Josh McCown there as a sounding board. You could see McCown go right up to him and be right there for him at his worst possible start, barring injury, of his career. Why wouldn't that be helpful for Baker Mayfield with Stanton and Tyrod Taylor to go through it right now?
Well, I think the Jets are a better team, and he has a better chance to go out there and succeed and win. I think in Cleveland you got a completely new system. Not as many of probably not as much talent as he probably has there. So it's so circumstantial for each guy. At some point, we're going to see Baker, I would think, during this year. But having a chance to sit back and watch and learn and listen and be a part of those meetings pre and post game, it's invaluable. And I think he's learning a lot and progressing. But we're going to see him here at some point.
A couple more minutes left with Carson Palmer here on the Rich Eisen Show, courtesy of the FedEx Airing Ground Award. And also the Football Life coming up on the NFL Network Friday night at 8 Eastern Time. Do you think we see Josh Rosen in your former stomping grounds this year?
I think we will at some point. Again, it's kind of similar to what we were talking about. That it's a new system. It's a new staff. It's a new offense. It's a new defense. It's a completely rebuilt offensive line. At some point, I think they'll put Josh in, but. They're being patient. They need to be patient. You have to be patient. So many fan bases want to flip the table upside down after week one. NFL is not college. In college, if you lose a game or you lose 2 games, your season's over and you're not playing for a national championship. But in the NFL, when you play 16 weeks and you can get into the playoffs at 9-7 and 10-6, you just got to be patient, especially with new coaches, new systems, new players at a bunch of positions. You've got to be patient. And week one is not indicative of what's going to happen the rest of the year. You just got to have patience and let the thing play out. And I think you'll see Arizona pick up steam and get rolling, because at the end of the day, Arizona's got some really, really, really good players. I mean, you look at Larry Fitzgerald and David Johnson on the offensive side of the ball, and then you go over to defense, you look at Patrick Peterson and Chandler Jones. I mean, you have some of the best players in the game at their respective positions on that team. So patience is going to be key in Arizona, and I think they'll sneak up on some people by the end of the year.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.